You look at the tombs, when you look at the monuments, they're on their best behavior, dressed in their Sunday best, living an ideal life. But it's an ideal.
But there is further evidence that offers clues as to the private lives of the citizens.
All kinds of things are going on, stuff that they didn't necessarily want you to know about.
The clues are everywhere.
The whole cliffs around the city are limestone. So any piece of the mountain that comes off at a nice flat angle like this is a potential riding surface.
And this potential was fully exploited by the residents of Deir el-Medina.
For the ancient Egyptians, we can compare this to a Post-it note. They were able to use these just by stooping down and picking up a piece of stone off the ground. There you go, writing material.
These shards, known by the Greek word ostraker, were used to document both official records and private notes. The fact that ostraker were used to send messages between friends provides experts with unique insights that were previously unknown in the archaeological record.
We can see the real Egyptians essentially letting their hair down.
Ostraker reveal how they spent their personal time.
They like to drink, they obviously like to fornicate, and they love to gossip.
From this ostraca, you can reconstruct the life 3,000 years ago, how they lived and everything about them from the inscribed limestone.
The evidence at Deir el-Medina reveals that its residents had lives not unlike our own.
It tells us for the first time this discovery, not about kings and queens as we know all the time, but tell us about the common people and the life of the common people.
But they lived these lives amongst the tombs of the dead. The Egyptians were a very spiritual people. They believed that the dead continued to influence every aspect of life in Egypt, from beyond the grave. For the 6th of Egypt's 10 greatest discoveries, Dr. Hawass will reopen a tomb that has remained closed to the public for decades. He'll discover what the Egyptians believed was a 300-yard-long magical supercomputer. When brought together, the 10 greatest discoveries reveal an overview of life in ancient Egypt. But it's impossible to understand Egyptian life without understanding their beliefs about the afterlife. The 6th discovery, the tomb of Seti I, offers an incredible insight.
What we have here is essentially the Hitchhiker's Guide or the rough guide to the afterlife.
Investigations here are revealing the secret code that turned a simple hole in the ground into a resurrection machine. The Valley of the Kings contains 63 tombs. One of the largest is the tomb of Pharaoh Seti I. It provides a wealth of information about ancient Egyptian attitudes to the afterlife.
Seti I's tomb is really one of the most extraordinary tombs that we have in the Kings Valley.
Seti's is one of the tombs in the Valley of the Kings on the west bank of the Nile. Late in the summer of 1817, an Italian explorer called Giovanni Belzoni arrived at the site. Belzoni had been a circus strongman, but he devoted his second career to Egyptology. Through careful surveying of the geology of the valley, Belzoni discovered 8 tombs in just 2 weeks. And by week 3, he had more than doubled the number of tombs discovered. Nevertheless, it wasn't until the morning of October the 16th, 1817, that Belzoni made the find that would see